Tell me what you think the greatest myth people have about entrepreneurship.
Whew, the greatest myth I think people have about entrepreneurship, and it might sound like a duh, but that it's easy. Like, I think people think that they can just start the business and everything's going to flow very smoothly. And man, I know I did not think that. That's why I had to be like, I can take 3 months. And then I was like, we need to extend it to 6 to 9 months. But people think that I know how to do what I'm doing, so it's just going to make the business life that much easier. And
Yes,
boy, that's not true.
man, listen. Especially in a time now where entrepreneurship is being, kind of forced down people's throats.
Hmm.
And then there is a lot of optics about what that looks like. You're seeing the end goal, like
Yep.
where you are in the end. So people come in kind of like, yeah, in 3 months, I'm going to do this. And, there's a whole bunch of different experts out here now that will feed you a pipe dream. So how do you stand out in the market against, because I know we've talked about this, and we know that it's very real. How do you stand out in a market with just a lot of microwave masters?
So that is a tough one. And we've been blessed to grow a lot by referrals because at some point, because of my personality, I can't do a lot of things that I see on social media. I can't, I can't lie. I can't hook you in with stuff. I talk about real strategies, how you implement them. I talk about hiring your children because I think that's a great tax strategy that a lot of people don't know about. But you're never going to hear me say hire your children to do chores because I know that that's not how the tax law works. So it might sound cool when you see the snippet, but I'm just not comfortable ever saying something just to get you in when I know that's not true. And so I definitely have a harder time with the social media world because a lot of things they put out there, it's one of those hook them in. And I'm like, I can't hook you in with something that I know is not true. So I stand out by trying to combat some of those falsehoods that I see on social media by giving you the actual truth. It might not sound as pretty, but it's something that's going to save you money. You just need to make sure you can hire your children in your business, but they have to do a real job. You have to document their job. You have to really pay your child. Like, it's not about you just saying you're going to pay them. You have to fund their account. So
Mm.
there are things that you have to do. So the tax law exists, but it's not as peaches and cream as your child made up their bed. You can pay them $12,000. That's not true.
Yeah, and I've heard that. So me, I'm like, well, how old can my child be? Like, can I do this for a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old? Like, so I wanted you to speak about that. You did, you touched on it, but how old does your child have to be employed by you?
So it really depends. So I want people to understand when it comes to taxes, your story is really individualized. And that's why I love it so much coming up with strategies because no two cases are the same. So you can have a business where the child is 6 months old and they're being used in the business because it's a mommy brand, it's a mommy and me, it's a breastfeeding brand. Yes, you can use your child at 6 months old. I started hiring my children when they were at the 9-year-old range because I'm dealing more with technical stuff. So I needed my daughter to be at an age where she can actually help me with data entry. She can help me with sorting the files. She has stuffed envelopes for promotions that we did when we did snail mail promotions. So those are things. My son is now 9 and he keeps asking, but just truth be told, my daughter was different than my son. So I keep telling him, not yet. I don't see what you're going to help me do yet. So we're just going to hold off. So even though he's 9, it just hasn't been a fit for the business yet because I haven't seen where I can use him as much. So I
Well,
think,
I want to throw this in here. I want to have this conversation because it came up in a group that we're part of,
yep,
right? So the conversation about the dog in the lighting,
mm-hmm.
right? So, and I just for protection of her intellectual property, I
Yep,
don't need to get into it, but it was using an animal for marketing purposes, and it was a lot of debate around just whether that could. And for me, it was like, yeah, she's using the dog as part of the business for marketing, it's a write-off, right? So
Yes.
the same thing, if I use my baby, for example, I run a virtual assistant business. I cater to busy professionals. Most of them are parents.
Busy
Could
moms.
I pay my baby?
Yes. So imagine that you have a campaign that you're trying to get more VAs, but the angle you're saying is, are you a mom that's at home that is looking for another source of income? And this is really just me off the dome. And yes, and then so a lot of your marketing, your advertisement is going to be focused on you being a new mom, but you're still running your business. And so you're now trying to funnel them in to say that you can have this life too. So yes, would your I don't know if it's revealed what you're having, but would would the baby be part of this? And then if you're taking photo shoots with you and the baby, but you're still working,
Yeah.
that's a great example of how you can use your child, and the age doesn't matter.
Changing the game. Okay. This is why you need a strategist in your
Yes.
life right here. Like literally, and check those references because, like she said, there are people, and I have seen it for myself where, they're all over national TV, online, and they're like, yeah, you can use your children. I mean, they work for you, don't you? I'm like, nobody ever paid me to make up no bed. That don't even
Exactly.
sound right. That don't even have anything to do with my business, right? Unless you're in a housekeeping
Unless
business.
you're in the housekeeping, and that's exactly, I'm like, unless you're in the housekeeping and they're helping you with the before and after shots, I'm not understanding what is happening with making up their beds.
You guys, we will be right back to talk more with Savvy Accountant.